Happy Sunday. Nothing like a hot cup of tea.
Hey everybody! Happy Sunday, everybody. Let me double check that everything is working okay. It is. Hello. Happy Sunday. This is so exciting. I spent all day yesterday putting up Christmas decorations, which didn't entirely go to plan, and I'm going to tell you all about it. I sort of feel that this is a safe space. For you very much so, not necessarily always for me, but I do quite like the fact that I can share pretty much anything I want with you, and I think it's generally well received. So, hey Sarah, good morning. That is a gorgeous little photo you have on there. That is a very cheeky, chubby little baby, which looks absolutely adorable. Hey Keith, hey Kath, good morning everybody. By the way, do you like this? Check this out. This is a new T-shirt from Percival. I did an unboxing video. You'll see that maybe next week. It's just a plain white T-shirt. I tend to wear white shirts and white T-shirts all the time, but it's got this really cute Monstera plant on it. It's cool, isn't it? It's just embroidered on it. I just thought it was subtle enough to. Anyway, it's Sunday. Anyway, hey Carol, lovely to see you back. So listen. Before we get... Hello, for those of you that haven't joined, my name's Jez Rose. Welcome to Sunday Elevenses. It's live. It's me. That means pretty much anything could happen, and probably will. So listen, I've got a confession to make. I said last week, big build-up. Hey, Mark. Big build-up. This week, I was going to show you through the Mary Berry fruitcake, which is an epic recipe. And I was going to talk to you about that, and I'll come back to that in a second. I am going to do that, but it's slightly different because I don't really drink. I tend to have a little glass of something to toast when someone passes away, or in memory of them. Special occasions like Christmas Day, bit of prosecco. But I generally sort of, I steer away from it. I don't drink socially. I don't. So anyway, yesterday I got very carried away. I've been really, really busy recently, and I've been so excited about Christmas that I thought, I'll put the Christmas decorations up, watch the Muppets Christmas Carol, and maybe I'll have a little bit of mulled apple juice. So, by the way, top tip. Apple juice, get some sort of nice apple juice like Copella. Don't go mega like rustic and lovely, because it tends to not work quite as well, and don't go mega cheap because it's a bit acidic. So sort of somewhere in the middle there. It doesn't have to be a sort of super expensive apple juice. Couple of ginger tea bags, I think mine were ginger and lemon, and a couple of sticks of cinnamon. Warm it all through on the hob or the air fryer because it's quicker. And it's absolutely delicious. But because yesterday, I'm thinking, I've been busy. Finally, I've got a nice weekend to myself. Really looking forward to it. I'll pop a little bit of rum in there, just a little drizzle of brown rum, and that was gorgeous, really, really nice. And so I carried on decorating, and I'm unpacking everything. I put the tree up, and I'm rummaging around looking for these lights. And it's been 2 years since I put my Christmas decorations up for various reasons, and I thought I vaguely remember just. Vaguely think about, in the distance, a couple of years ago, I kind of vaguely think there was a moment where I thought, some of the lights are broken, they're different colours, I like nice warm white lights, I'll donate them and I'll get some more next year. Well, next year never came, then the next year never came, and then I forgot. So I've put a tree up, and I couldn't put any of the Christmas decorations on it because obviously you've got to do the lights first, right? So there I am thinking, I'll spice things up a little bit. Maybe I'll have a glass of Prosecco. Because I bought some Prosecco for Christmas, and there's sort of an extra bottle floating around that hasn't really been accounted for. So I thought, I'll have a little glass of that. Well, we learnt 4 things yesterday, gang. Number 1, Jez does not handle drink very well. And on 1 glass of Prosecco, we'll get drunk. That was number 1. Number 2, we learnt that Jez makes poor decisions when he's had Prosecco or drink. Number 3, we learnt that Jez cannot paint his nails. And that when Jez decides for the first time ever in his life to paint his nails, he definitely should not do that if he has had Prosecco or any other alcoholic drink. Number 4, we learnt that Jez with painted nails is not a look that we're okay with. Bless him, Mr. Adorable, who thought it was one of the funniest things he'd ever seen, when I texted him, dropped off, managed to get some nail varnish remover so that today I haven't got black. Well, I thought they were grey. That's the other thing, is I make very poor choices of nail varnish remover. I had a bottle kicking around for a project we were working on that never got used, and I definitely in my head it was grey. I know I'm not wrecked like doing the tree. I've had like literally one champagne coupe of, not even full to the top, but that I think mixed with the mulled rum. So anyway, then I think, oh, I'll make the Christmas cake, right, that I told you. Okay, so the Christmas cake I told you about requires that you soak a lot of the fruit overnight. Now, I'm just going to fast forward to a bit because I want to talk to you about this today. I've got it here, not the cake, the fruit. So when we made this on the James Martin's Saturday morning, a couple of years back now, I wasn't involved in the making of it because he has, a team of home economics home economists that make that. But I consulted on the, replacing sugar for honey for a sort of healthier, tastier version. Anyway, this is the bowl that is, I guess, what's that scientific experiment? Half the size of my face, but certainly not circumferentially. It's larger. That is, look at the epic amount of fruit. I have to be careful how I tip it because it's got brandy in it now as well. There's 400 grams of raisins, I think, 225 grams of sultanas, 225 grams of currants, 175 grams of apricots, 175 grams of glacé cherries, and 75 grams of mixed peel, and 4 tablespoons of brandy. I mean, so that's got to soak overnight somewhere cool. So I've just got it out of the fridge to show you that's why I don't have the finished berry. I mean, it's a treat. It wasn't. I shopped around a bit for the dried fruit because that's an epic amount of fruit to put in there. It's not a cheap cake to make. So anyway, that I'm making tomorrow, and I'll do the video of it so you can see that. So next week we'll actually have Christmas cake, because today, for the first time ever, I don't actually have a cake of the week cake review because I thought I was going to be showing and sharing that. So I've just got tea and you, which I think is all right, Anyway, listen, I need to share with you something. As you know, or you might not know, I'm just going to copy and paste this into the comments. I'm going to paste into the comments a very special link. They don't know I'm doing this, but I'm not a vegetarian, I'm not a vegan, but I do care about how, we interact with the world, and I care about how we interact with nature and the sort of, people in it. Mark says mixed peel, yuck. Well, yeah, I don't like it either, but I wanted to make, and I'll talk about this later on next week, because there is a lot of stuff in this, like whole almonds and chopped almonds and the glacé cherries and the mixed peel and a ton of fruit and 5 eggs, and it's not a cheap fruitcake to make. However, I just want to kind of think about balancing that out a bit because, it will go far. It is a bit special. And I'm not a big fan of mixed peel either, but in the right space, I don't think you can taste it. And I just wanted to make it authentically. So before I change the recipe, I thought, let's just see what it tastes like as it is. But of course you could switch out, just don't put the mixed peel in, or pull back on sultanas and put more raisins in or whatever, or halve the whole lot and don't have quite as fruity a cake. So you'll have more sort of dense cake. But anyway. So stop distracting me. How am I so warm in a t-shirt, Kath? That is a very good question. I wouldn't say I was warm right now, but I'm not long out the shower because I've been very tired travelling and working recently, so I had a late Sunday morning. So maybe I'm just kind of steamy. I don't know. Anyway, so I get my meat. I generally eat like a vegetarian, but when I do eat meat, on maybe once a week, maybe not even that actually, but maybe once a week, I tend to buy venison a lot because it's leaner, more environmentally friendly, a bit more ethical, but it is a little bit more expensive, but I'm not buying it as regularly. So I came from a house where, hey, that would be interesting, we should do a little poll now. How many of you had meat every single night of the week? Because when I grew up, it was meat all the time. Like you just meat was always on the plate. It was unusual for us not to have meat. And then, when you move out and you think, hang on a minute, that is not, I don't think that's normal or sustainable. Hello. So, tend to buy venison. If I buy chicken or a joint of beef or whatever, I buy it, as you probably well know, from the farm that we visited on Saturday Kitchen, which is the lovely farm that Anna runs. Oh my gosh, I'll tell you in a minute. Oh gosh, isn't that terrible? I can't think of it now. There's another farm in my name, but it's definitely not them. Yeah, fish on a Friday. See, that's classic, isn't it? I mean, that has religious connotations, I suppose. So if you're religious, then that would be, that would absolutely be why you would do that. But that's really common as well. It's funny how that filters out as well, though, isn't it? Still lots of old people have fish and chips on a Friday or something. Anyway, and I tend to buy milk that's organic at the very least, and ideally calf at foot. So we're not going to go into this today because I'll do a separate special on this. I think it's probably not for Sunday Elevenses. This is supposed to be a nice, happy place, isn't it? But milk, it's pretty horrifically produced. It's not a lovely process for the calf or the mum, right? And I think it is certainly enough for you to not want to drink milk or find an alternative. Now, there is a dairy called the Calf at Foot Dairy. So I'm just going to just bring this up. So this link here is I'm going to make it a little special one. So it's there, it's favorited. They have this small herd of cows, and they keep the baby cows with the mother and take the milk that's in excess. So what happens with milk normally is they tear away the calf from the mum very, very young, like within a couple of days. It's hugely distressing for the mum and the calf. And by the way, I lived near a dairy farm when I grew up. If you ever hear the screams of the mother and the calf, you'll never get out of your head. It's horrible, and it goes on for days. But of course, that means that the mum is forced to keep producing milk because there isn't the baby there. So that the other suckers trick the body into thinking that the cow still demands milk, and then the calf is then raised on a formula or whatever. So anyway, long story short, Calf at Foot Dairy, they keep the baby cow with the mum, and then the excess, and there are other Calf at Foot dairies as well, this one just happens to be called Calf at Foot Dairy, is the one they sell. So they produce less milk, so it's slightly more expensive, but so much better for you actually, but also ethically as well. Now they're in a bit of a bind. They've been, I don't know the ins and outs. It sounds like they've been kicked off a farm that they thought they were going to be there for a long time, and they thought they might have to shut down the dairy. They've found a dairy, but they need to fundraise. So if you've got a fiver spare for a really great cause, this lady that runs it is so. Go check them out on Instagram, Calf at Foot Dairy. It's a really, really lovely thing. So anyway, there you go. It's not about today. So carols. Not you, Carol, but hello, Carol, and Muppets Christmas Carol. For me, Muppets Christmas Carol is an essential Christmas viewing. And this year I found out it's the 30th anniversary. Now, if you were with me for last year's Elevenses, you will know there was a very special Elevenses where we did a sing-along to the Muppets Christmas Carol, because it's one of my favourite Christmas films. Favourite films of all time, actually. And it didn't go down especially well. I think I revealed that when I was in hospital, I was working in hospital years and years ago. I remember this patient, this very old man, said to me, only do what you're good at, and it looks like you're good at everything you do. And I thought, gosh, that's a really clever piece of advice. Well, singing, gang, is not my forte. Singing and dancing, I've got 5 left feet, and I've got a voice like a goose farting in the fog. So neither of those things are something that I try to do. So what I decided I would do is a little sing-along. But then, of course, at the last minute realised that I can't hear you, so really all you just got is my voice drowning each other out. I don't know. Should we do another one? Let me know. Maybe we should do another little sing-along. I don't know. Mark's off to see it in the cinema next week because he's fancy pants and doing that. So that's super sweet of you to go and support the 30th anniversary. Oh, you should dress up, Mark. I wonder if it's like the... Mr. Adorable Cat. No, he doesn't. He's a Grinch. Mr. Adorable we could not be more different. He is an absolute Grinch. Couldn't care less about Christmas decorations. Can't understand how I get so excited about baubles. Doesn't like the Muppet Christmas Carol. Doesn't like the Muppets. That's something that should be on a dating profile. Because... I mean, if you didn't like dogs, it would have been over a long time ago, but... Anyway. Yeah, you should dress up like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Mark, please do that. Can we all just... Should we bully Mark? I'm not into online trolling, but Mark, if you don't dress up as Kermit the Frog with a spandex frog suit and completely green all the rest of your skin, I don't think you're not welcome here anymore. I'm kidding. So talking of ethical, I thought about this morning. Here's the thing. So I have asthma, and it's got worse recently. And I take this little inhaler twice a day. So I use these a lot. Like I go through, I don't know how long they last, but they don't last very long. And I was just about to throw this in the bin today and I thought, and every time I do that, every couple of weeks, I do think, it seems like a real waste. And I just chuck it in the recycling, right? And I know, Keith, right? If you don't like the Muppets, serious red flag. I know, I got it. And I looked for the little... Oh, that's gone. Oh, God. 1 minute. Sorry, I'll be back. I looked for the little recycling thing, and there's not a little recycling logo on that cap. So I'm guessing... And it's that certain type of plastic, right? It's quite hard and sturdy. I don't think you can recycle that. I looked for the recycling logo all over the main little inhalery bit. And there's quite a lot of, you won't be able to see probably, there's quite a lot of kind of plastic mechanics down there, like a little wheel and stuff. And then there's this thing, of course, which is the charged canister with the pressurised drug in it. Matthew says some pharmacies sign up to an inhaler recycling scheme. I'm sure they do, but I wonder what that looks like. Because even on this, there is no recycling logo. So what does an inhaler recycling scheme do? Like just they put it in landfill somewhere else or something. So yeah, I want to look at that because this is, again, it annoys me that, you know, we get the emphasis is on us all the time, isn't it? To recycle our bottle tops and wash out our tins of beans and that. And yet, well, hang on a minute, there are companies making hundreds of millions of these. Where's the pressure on them to say, all right, stop, you need to make that in a much more ethically sound way? So I'm just going to kind of tweet a little bit. I've got some... I work quite a lot with pharmaceutical companies, so I'm going to kind of pop that out on social media and see what the thing is. Matthew says they're made into plastic garden benches. What? No. That's a very small bench, Matthew. Well, for mice, you'd need two, wouldn't you? Because it'd have to sit that way. Is that the leg? Is that what you mean? So you stick another one there. You've got like a little... That's an agility course for a squirrel, isn't it? Perhaps. Well, I would like to see that. Matthew, if that is true, Matthew is saying that they get recycled into garden benches and garden storage boxes. And now, I want to see evidence of that. I want to know who does it, and we need to shout about it more because if I knew that, I would much more readily recycle this. But because there's nothing on it, I've been throwing it in the bin and felt terrible about it. Anyway, Matthew sounds like he knows what he's on about. GSK and Teva have ended their schemes, but there are other options. Well, that's all very well, but there you go. We'll see about that. So, oh, that was loud. Sorry, I do that sometimes in the study, but I realise that you're over there with the microphones. That's not a very nice thing to do. So we've done Carpet Foot Dairy. We've done that. Oh, don't forget your Elevenses discount, by the way. Just to remind you, you get 11% off of everything in the store. So if you're looking for some nice little goodies for yourself or for someone else, my tea is there. They're amazing Christmas candles, gang. I'm just about to do an unboxing, actually. Shall I give you a little sneaky peek into this? In fact, I'll be very careful because I'm not really supposed to do this. But True Grace... I did an unboxing video of them. They have the most gorgeous candles. We sell some of them in the shop. But they do some Christmas candles that are off the chart. Like, it was so funny. The other day, who did we have here? Somebody who said, oh, your house always smells really nice. And they came in and went, oh my gosh, it smells like Christmas in your house. What are you making? What are you baking or something? And I said, it's nothing. It's a Christmas candle. But they fill the room. Like, it's none of this silly little... Oh, is that a scented candle? It's like, ooh, like, it's really nice. Anyway, and there's some super cute stuff here. I didn't know that they did. I love a candle. I love a candle. And this here, I can't open them because I've got to do them later, but they're beeswax candles. I love a beeswax candle. And then they do this. This is like a little recycling thing. This has become like a section on True Grace, but I thought this was really cute. So obviously, because they make candles, they have loads of spare and scrap wax, right? So on the back of here, they say, we've been wondering how to recycle our wax leftovers, and these natural pine cone fire starters are the perfect solution. So they go and pick pine cones that fall on the floor, use all the scrap wax in them, and then I guess there's a little wick in there, so you can use them as fire starters, all ethically environmentally friendly. Isn't that wonderful? In, of course, an environmentally friendly bag. I love stuff like that. Because it gets to this sort of time of year, doesn't it, where you start to think, like today actually, on my list, Christmas cards and Christmas gifts, and I think, it's just a lot of stuff that gets wasted, isn't there? A lot of, like, people buy you tat, and you think, why did you buy me that? Like, either I've already got one, or I'm never going to use it. So this week, tomorrow, in fact, I am filming my crap and creative Christmas gifting. So if you've got any suggestions, I want to hear both. I want to hear terrible, terrible Christmas gifts or terrible gifts that you've ever received. I'd love to hear those. But also creative ones. I'd love to hear what sort of, unusual or interesting gifts that you have received so that I can add it to my creative gifting. Because I think at this time of the year, we tend to need quite a lot of inspiration. And isn't it weird how there are some people that you know, but you just have no idea what to buy for? My dad is the same. I bought my dad some really cool stuff in the past, but he's just never used it. And you think, oh, okay, you're not the person I thought you were, so not that. What else? And then you think, well, I don't know what to buy them. Like, what do you get people? So then you start to go, well, maybe we go down the route of the, buy someone a goat or something. Not an actual goat, obviously, but, donate a goat to a third world country. And then you look into that, and you're not entirely sure if all the money really does go to a goat. And does anyone ever get a goat? I don't know. We talked about how much some of these charity, executives get paid. So I think I need a bit of inspiration there. So let me know what you're buying some other people. Don't tell me the person's name in case they watch this. But I would love to get some more inspiration for creative gifting this week. Now, next week's little cake review, which we don't have today, but because I haven't done it really a little enough, that's enough of that. Next week's little cake review is a review of Mary Bow's Christmas cake, obviously, or fruit cake, but a mince pie review. So you're welcome. We are having delivered here 10 different mince pies from 10 different suppliers, and I am going to review those mince pies for you. You're welcome. So that we can find the tastiest, the best value for money, the most delicious, the most beautiful mince pies. You're welcome. So I'm really excited about that, as I'm sure now you are too. Maybe I need some sort of vomit receptacle as well shortly after that. Oh, Carol says she's gone for experiences. Theatre, cinema, meal out option. Lovely. But you know what? There's an extra twist to there that I think makes that lovely. Personally, I will be giving my opinion tomorrow on the crap and creative Christmas gifting. I think those experiences are best when they're with you. The most valuable gift we can give anyone is our time, right? There are people that you wish you could have seen more of, or wish you got to say goodbye to, and so actually we're all busy. You look back through your, this often happens at Christmas, doesn't it? You look through your list of people to send a Christmas card to, and you think, oh gosh, when did I last see them? Or you say really vacant things like, oh, we should meet up again soon. That's never going to happen. Put a bloody date in the diary, ring them up, tell them, okay, we haven't seen each other for 9 months. When are you next available? Let's get a date in the diary. Let's do it. None of this kind of fluid, oh, we really should meet up. It's not going to happen. Never happens. It annoys me so much when people say, oh, we should really meet up soon for dinner. I'm like, give me a bloody date. Anyway, so the little twist, I think, Carol, is that, it's those experiences. You say, okay, look, I'm buying this for us to go out. Call me, get a date in the diary. Or you call them in January and say, hey, happy Christmas again. Let's get a date in the diary to go to the cinema together or whatever. And what a wonderful afternoon you can have. I often send a little note in a Christmas card to say, for Christmas, I'd love to buy you a meal. Let's go out together. And then it's not a moment that's over, is it? It's not like you unwrap something and go, oh, I don't know why you'd unwrap an inhaler. You've been sounding wheezy. Happy Christmas. It's not like you wrap it and go, oh, okay, thanks very much, and I'll use it. You get time with someone. That's very precious. Kath says Jane Goodall was talking about send and animal schemes and why they're not a good way to help people. Ooh. Jane Goodall, by the way. I mean, what a woman. What a woman. I was asked recently, somebody did a 38 questions interview with me to learn all about me and what I do. And somebody asked me, who would you have at a dinner party? 3 people. 3 people is impossible because Barack Obama, obs. Oh, we need to talk about Christmas toppers, Christmas tree toppers. We've got 5 minutes. We can do that now. And Jane Goodall's someone that I think, I know, I'd kind of like her there too. So that's interesting. Kath, you need to tell me more. Type quickly, keyboard warrior. I'll carry on talking. I'll hold their attention. You do the research. I need to know why adopt an animal schemes aren't a good way to help people, but I kind of understand. Mark's all there for Waitrose, all butter mince pies, I imagined, definitely. Yeah, I know, Kath. Keith says homemade mincemeat in phyllo pastry. Come on. With brandy butter. Is on the to-do list next weekend. I'll send one for you to review. Yes, but only if you want an awful lot of people writing to you saying, can I have some as well? I did different types of mince pies last year, and there's loads. But interestingly enough, mince pies, a lot of the supermarkets get them made at the same place, so they're all sourced from the same place, which is why they're sort of similar on a variation. I want different. I want off the beaten track. I want rugged. I want rough. I want unusual fillings. I want to bite in and there just be a pouring of pine scented liquor or something. I don't know where I'm going with this, but next week I will tell you which are the most unusual or lovely. So Matthew, Jane on top of your tree, quite possibly. Mark's got a glass snowman on top of his tree. Great. So, glass snowman. Traditionally an angel. We had an angel when I was growing up, 4 years. It was a really fancy pants one, like a really nice... Mum and Dad must have saved up a lot for it, because it wasn't just a cheapy thing. She had a big, lovely dress and kind of jewels on, and a nice sort of like normal human-looking face, like moulded. It was really lovely. Quite a big thing. But I have had... What have I had on the top of my tree? Oh, a star. I had a star for a while. That's quite traditional, isn't it? Quite common. But... This year, so actually, do you know what? For the last quite a few years, 5 years, well, missed 2 years, didn't have any up. Anyway, a client of mine bought me a Barack Obama bauble, like a flat disc with Barack Obama's face on it. That has been on top of my tree and will continue to be. I don't think there's a question. You know, Jim did say recently, oh, you know, what do you put on top of your tree? There's a debate you should have on Elevenses. There's no debate, Jim. Barack Obama. And if you haven't got Barack Obama on top of your tree, you need to ask yourself a few questions. Go run yourself a bath. Now, look, it's 27 minutes past 11 on a Sunday morning. There's still time. Run yourself a bath. Light a candle, because it's going to be contemplative. Maybe a big pot of tea. And ask yourself, why don't I have a Barack Obama bauble on top of my tree? I don't want your answer now. You need to really seriously think about it. But maybe today's the day of self-discovery that you weren't expecting. Kath says, the animals create a further strain on already poor people who may not have the resources to look after them. That's a really interesting point. It's like some of these schemes that we come up with, where you think we're helping people, but actually you're adding a massive hindrance to them. It's the typical sort of privileged people, you know, saying, oh, you should have one of these. I created something recently with a friend of mine, like a workshop, and we said, you know, what's the most valuable thing, what's the most valuable possession for anybody in the world to have? And that's a really difficult, controversial, and I suppose a little bit, what's the word? Like, it's different for everybody. However, we decided that perhaps a pencil would be incredibly empowering, because if you're not educated, it's the thing that enables you to learn to write, or to enable to communicate, and therefore to record education, become educated. It offers you the opportunity to design and create, and it's extremely therapeutic. You know, a pencil and a blank piece of paper is pretty much how every idea started. Every book you've ever read started with a blank piece of paper. And I thought how incredibly empowering that would be to gift somebody in the right circumstances pencils. Because of course they can be sharpened as well, right? They last a lot longer. They're free compared to ink. But that's a really interesting thing, Kath. So perhaps you should think twice about adopting an animal and or gifting an animal, metaphorically, this year. Sarah says, it's our first Christmas in our new home. Yes! Congratulations! And cash is sparse, I can imagine. We're going with a Barbie for a tree topper. I, in some ways, imagine you've got children. However, that's the sort of thing I probably would come up with, and I don't have children. So listen, gang, we have careered through this week's Elevenses. It's been an absolute bloody joy and a pleasure, as always. We're back next week with my epic mince pie cake review, and Mary Berry's cake will be with us as well. I will give you a little tour of the Christmas tree, which hopefully the lights will have arrived and I'd have found time, although I am out a lot next week working as well, to decorate it, and I can share you my Barack Obama tree. If you've not subscribed already, please do hit the subscribe button, and there's a little bell little picture of like a bell. If you click that, you get notifications. It's not, you don't get spammed or anything like that. You just get let know when I've uploaded a new video. We're uploading them weekly, if not daily at the minute. And if you want to, you can donate if you love Elevenses and the other content we're producing. That jezrose.com/donate. I think I tell you this all the time, but we collect the donations and the donations get distributed to different charities. This year we are sending them to Green Fingers, which is a pretty cool charity that provide gardens for hospices and hospitals for children with terminal illnesses, so that families have got a space to enjoy, reflect, relax, and all that kind of jazz. It has been lovely. So listen, Sarah, enjoy your Barbie on top of the tree. Make sure there's some padding or something around her crotch, because otherwise you'll end up probably with a very painful Barbie. And I will see the rest of you next week. Have a wonderful week, whatever you're up to. And here's my little sign off, because I try every week to give you something to go forward for in the week. Christmas can be a really challenging time for a lot of people. At one end of the spectrum for all of us, because we place so much stress on everything being perfect for that one day. And of course for everybody else, where there are aspirations and projections of it being perfect and wonderful and full of love and full of abundant food. And for a lot of people, that isn't the case. So here's the thing. Why don't we take the pressure off of us and other people about Christmas, and with the sort of message, I guess, that comes from the Muppets Christmas Carol, that we use that magic feeling of Christmas, which ultimately is love. Love, of course, is freedom. The more people that we show and express our love to, the more we get that Christmas feeling all year round. So perhaps this kind of lovely feeling of friendliness and giving and bringing people close together shouldn't perhaps be reserved in intensity for one day, but maybe we could spread it out a little bit and just take the foot off the accelerator, enjoy coasting through this nice period of love, and see if we can stretch it as far as we can into next year. Just a little thought. Have a lovely day, everybody. Love you lots. Bye-bye.
Hey, happy Sunday. Nothing like a hot cup of tea.